All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Breaking the Base, the 89th episode. And in episode 89, we got Narik, Ken, and MademB, and we're going to be talking about the Joker.
Why so serious?
The Clown Prince of Gotham himself, the arch nemesis of Batman and the total anarchist and guy who represents chaos.
He's got a lot of issues. He's got mommy issues. All kind of issues. What are we joking about?
Yes, he does. All right, but go ahead and start passing it the mic around or whatever. But I'm gonna go ahead and let Ken go ahead and give his thoughts about the Joker. Then MademB, then me, because I always talk all the
time. No, you don't talk all the time. Come on, that's a controversial lie. Wow, Joker. See, I didn't even know what tonight's thing was going to be. So, the Joker has been around since forever in the DC universe as basically Batman's arch nemesis. The funniest version of the Joker, though, has got to be the one out of the Batman Lego movie. I got to say, he was hilarious, if you haven't watched that one. Zach Galifianakis played him in there?
Zach Galifianakis, something like that.
Yeah, however you say his name. And I did not realize that was him. See the voice to the character, and I'm like, holy crap, that was him. And I always see him as the stupid guy out of many other different movies. And we've had quite a few actors too who've played the Joker as well. And we can go all the way back to the 70s series. Jeez, how far back do we go in the actual
Joker? The 1940s, I think. Maybe a little bit earlier than that.
1940. Oh, that's a long time. And he's been played by several well-known actors.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Jared Leto, the most recent, in Suicide Squad. We've had dang, I forgot his name. Jake Gyllenhaal? No.
What's that guy?
What's his name?
Jared Leto, Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. They were in the same movie together, if you get my meaning. Yeah, Jack Nicholson, he came in, and the reboot of Batman, which was awesome. Very, very to the classic character that we've known as the Joker. Heath Ledger took it a step up to be more, not necessarily the Dark Knight Joker, but violent than the Jack Nicholson character.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun, though. He was great moment, very cool. And then, of course, Jared Leto playing a Suicide Squad, which I think was where they were trying to go with that one. I'm still kind of... I've only seen Suicide Squad once, and I'm still kind of scratching my head. Leto Joker.
A lot of people say that the reason why he kind of stood out oddly was because a lot of the scenes that they had made in the movie were taken out with him.
That's true, and there was a lot of inconsistency in the storyline. He was an interesting Joker. I don't know. I probably need to watch Suicide Squad once or twice more to really get a vibe for that Joker character. I never really saw him into that role, but you had such good actors already. I mean, you've had closer to the comic series and then to the extreme, where Jared Leto is that extreme. He's the far side of the Joker character that has been portrayed over the last 40 years, but in TV, it's only been since the early 80s. So Caesar Romero was the original 1970s Batman Joker. So a lot of characters, a lot of bouncing around there. And we've had extremes, light to all the way to extremely violent and death and carnage. But I don't know. There's been so many origins to the Joker too. Which I'm sure y'all probably have a good amount of research on that one.
Yeah. What is your thoughts about the Joker?
Me?
Yeah. Punisher, yeah.
MademB gets all quiet this week.
I don't really quiet. Just not really here all the way.
Oh, all right. We're in the same boat. That was me the rest last week. I was all like, I can't move my neck. I can't even think.
Well, he's an interesting character. Like, he has his own, like, personal thing. I like the suits he wears. Purple. Purple is my favorite color.
Purple and green.
Do they ever actually emphasize why he sticks to those colors?
Maybe because of Prince.
Well, I think actually, I would have to go back. I think at one time they talked about it. It was the old jesters, like Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Wears the black and white a lot, predominantly, and maybe sometimes blue. But your original like clowns and things like that, like carnivals and circuses, used to use the darker colors so it didn't show stains as much. And I think they just carried that palette over to the Joker because his hair is green. I mean, in most cases, his hair has always been green.
Mm-hmm.
And so the colors just kind of complement each other. But I think there was many years ago something I ran across. Somebody was trying to ask that exact same question, why? But it had to do with history and of clowns in general and some of the outfits that they were. So because it was also the same question answered Harley Quinn's thing too, of why Harley Quinn is done in black, white, and red.
I looked kind of yellow.
And which one?
This one right here.
Oh, the Cesar Romero.
Yeah, it looked kind of yellow.
I think it was just because if you look at the coloring of the character, everything's light. Like instead of his suit being like purple, it looks like more pinkish. His hair is green, but it's a lighter shade, a blender shade of green.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking early days of TV too, so a lot of that stuff was just transitioning from black and white. Watch the Munsters, you actually realize that even though most of the shows of the Munsters are in black and white,
yeah,
but they actually did full makeup and they were actually green.
Yeah. Which when I found out, I was like, wow.
I don't like watching the colorized versions of the Munsters because it just takes away from the original enjoyment of the show. I'll just stick with black and white and we'll call it even. But the content. But I just ran across something real quick while we were talking, and it had something to do with where? Let's see. Green and purple became evil colors, with green being more the choice. Uno momento, please. Let me open that up a little bit better. Oh, you know what? That is actually kind of weird. Oh, Superman and Batman's arch nemesis were purple, as well as the lead villains of Spider-Man and X-Men and Dragon Ball. Purple seems to be associated with even Skeletor, all the major bad characters. I don't know if it has.
Does wear purple.
Purple is a color of royalty. Was also most extremely expensive around at the time. Evil royalty. That's where at least this person's references come from. So basically, expensively dyed purple was royalty, and royalty was often jerks, especially in Revolutionary Wars. So purple, I guess, has become the choice of evil. Although that's not the same one I read, but it does. And the funny thing is, all the characters we're showing are all the bad guys from Disney movies, and every one of them is wearing purple in some form or fashion, all the way back to Snow White. That's crazy. That's 1930s.
The evil queen was wearing purple. Okay, that's an interesting fact.
Maleficent's wearing purple. The voodoo guy from the Frog Prince, purple. Ariel's nemesis, purple. Emperor's New Groove, I can't think of her name. She's purple. So I guess it has to do with evil.
Okay. See, that's an interesting thing to point out. I like when it comes to like the character like the Joker. I don't particularly find him personally like a interesting villain per se. But he's like a cool villain. That's what kind of captures, because he's one of the few villains where he's like, he absolutely does not give a crap. It ain't about reason. It's not about money. It's not about greed. It's just like he just does stuff for just to stay, just to do it.
Yeah, exactly. He does it. That's what makes him so hard throughout the comics to ever beat, because he's not a predictable individual. He has no recognizable pattern. I mean, yes, he has his calling card, the Joker card, which is usually razor blades. He has, the green hair and the bleached white skin and a big smile on his face. A lot of his tools of the trade are familiar, but as of what he does, I think that's what made the character so interesting is he doesn't care. He's not a predictable individual. He has no agenda other than to ruin people's lives, basically. And so, and make money. I mean, he is in there for the money for a lot of the stuff. So it's very interesting to, see the character and how he's developed over the years too, because, a lot of these, like Suicide Squad, he was crazy sadistic, but he had the goal of getting Harley back.
Mm-hmm.
He's never cared about anybody before. That's a change of his normal mind.
The Batman series Joker?
Well, I didn't read the comics, but in the Batman series, whatever he was doing, it, was like taking on a bank or, something. Was it just for attention? Was he like an attention whore?
You mean the 1990s?
Yeah, in the Batman TV series.
Next to the Heath Ledger Joker, the 1990s one is like the most iconic Joker.
Because I was talking about the animated.
Yeah. That one, he was the goofy. He was like goofy. He had his moments, but he was more goofy.
Yeah, but he was more reference to the thing. That was the one Mark Hamill voiced, if I remember right.
Yeah. That's like he was like the definitive Joker until Heath Ledger got on top of that. But because if you look at like top 10 lists, alternate Jokers, you will see that Joker next to Heath Ledger's Joker in like the top 3 in almost all of them.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I kind of like the most too.
And that one, he was more like, he was more goofy. He was more kind of a trickster. And like
as evil and planning and plotting as he was with the Heath Ledger or with the Jared Leto version.
I mean, he was smart. He was really smart. His wasn't just like, even when it was chaos, he had his moments where he's chaotic, but then he'll be like, okay, this is a little bit too crazy. He has moments where he's like, okay, I'm kind of scared. He has those moments. He's more goofy, but he does have his serious moments. I would like to ask y'all this then when it comes to the joke. Do you like the funny one or do you like the psychopathic one? Because in terms of the psychopath, I would give it to Heath Ledger's Joker. But in terms of like the funny, I would go with the 1990s. Another example of like the funny one would be like the Cesar Romero. Like his was more was like fun. The Batman, the Brave and the Bold, that one's more fun.
Well, you have so many versions, and it's really, to me, it's difficult. Because you have the animated, you have the comics, you have the animateds, and you have the live actions.
And now, with
even in there,
they got the games too now.
Oh yeah, and you have the gaming, the gaming platforms now too, like Arkham and Arkham. Second Arkham and all that. So I mean, you have all these different representations of the same character, ranging again from being this funny, clowny kind of guy to chopping up people and making fish sticks out of them, and we have everything in between. And I think each of them has their own strengths and weaknesses. I like the animated 90s version with Mark Hamill as the Joker for animated wise.
Yeah.
The Jack Nicholson one was a nice trade-off. He wasn't too 1970s, and he wasn't too extreme, but the character had the dramatic effect that carried through the show, even though he was crazy, but he didn't get to extremes. But it's really hard to gauge which one. I mean, to me, the Joker is a complete psychopath. He is a nut job. He does humor with it, but it's a sick, deranged humor. The guy is mentally unstable. He is very genius, but he is an equivalent to Batman's character, and to be his pretty much #1 nemesis, he's got to be somebody on his A game, also insane. You know, maybe the Jared Leto persona with the Heath Ledger is a good combination for me. I don't think any one character has taken the full role that I want.
Mm-hmm. And
it's like he's psycho, but funny. Like he kills people and laughs.
Yeah, exactly. He's psychotic. He just, oh, whoops, whoopsie daisy. He ate a grenade, you know, and just keeps on trucking with no moral remorse. I mean, nothing. The guy is a complete psychopath. He is a nut job.
I wanted to touch on this. What do you think about the Joker's relationship with Batman? Is it a love for Batman? Is it a hate for Batman? Because in some incarnations, he's like obsessed with Batman. And I mean, all of them, he's obsessed with Batman, but to like varying degrees. Whether it's okay, well, he has to keep stepping his game to try to kill Batman or to get Batman's attention.
Well, like I said, he's an attention whore. Like I said, if he wanted to kill Batman, he probably would have been and killed him. In either one of them. Like I said, he just wants his attention because I don't know why, but maybe in some weird way he admires him, but you know, he's like so messed up he don't know what to do with it. I guess
they did touch on that in The Killing Joke.
Mm-hmm.
Where Batman was like, this relationship that we have, and it's like the more you start acting a fool, the more I have to step up to kind of contain you. Because there was something I came across where it said the Joker did feel like his purpose was to keep pushing Batman. Therefore, Batman would kind of keep pushing him.
I think a lot of it has to depend on what origin story that you wish to go with. Because if you look at comics and the original reboot of Batman in the 80s, the Joker was blaming Batman for his condition. What happened to him was completely, he got knocked into the chemical bath that
the Red Hood persona
bleached his skin, made him the Joker character, and so that he has a bond, a relationship for revenge of what was done to him. And I think as he mentally, you know, I think over through the comics and even through the movies, there's always a love-hate relationship, and I don't mean it like romantic love. It's just to challenge to have to be better than the bat. You know, we always see it. Why does he have better toys? Or how does he get these things? Where did he come from? There's always trying to make that next step. And honestly, I think if Joker really put his mind to it and he could have set it up, he probably would have killed Batman a long time ago.
Yeah, they just it's like a back and forth because it's I don't know what this is. I was reading.
Well, a prime example. Have you seen the Lego Batman movie?
Yeah, we went to go see it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We're in the movie. That's exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I hate you. Ditto. You know, that was all throughout the movie. That was the reason the Joker went all crazy, because he was like, you're my #1. You're my go-to man. You know, when I want to ruin something, I come to you. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't need anybody. You leave me alone. And that was it. And that's a prime example. Even though humoristic, I think that the Joker character has carried on throughout. It's evolved, you know, from the original just being a nemesis, bad guy of the week thing, to, as we've seen the movies and as we've seen definitely developed in the movies and some of the animated series as well, that relationship is there. You know, he's always trying to one step and he's always trying to do something. He's always shining that light to get the attention of the Bat. And even if he gets his butt kicked, when he gets out, what's the first thing he does?
Go back to doing what he was doing. And you're right about that. They even touched on it in The Dark Knight, where it's like, I won't kill you. You won't kill me because of your morals. And then I won't kill you because what? He said, you're too damn fun. Then he believes that they're supposed to keep doing this.
Yeah, it's a continuous dance forever and ever and ever. And you know, and like I say, the monstrous, you know, Batman's nemesis is the Joker. Has been since the early, well, I think we saw it in the 40s, but you know, he's more developed later on. And then of course we saw him in, you know, the early TV series too. One of the first villains they had, Joker.
The Joker.
You know, first villain out the bat, reboot, Joker. Yeah. Batman reboot number 2, Joker. And then the last, you know, Suicide Squad, not playing a main character, but the Joker made a surfacing in there. You know, because
this is one reason I wanted to jump on the subject, because I'm going to defend Jared Leto. This is what I like to.
There was nothing really wrong with his character. I think the character was suited more towards that style of comic when Suicide Squad was, you know, I think I still have a few Suicide Squads somewhere. A few of them had the Joker in it, but for the most part, you know, the Suicide Squads that I have really didn't. The concept was the same. The characters were a lot different.
Yeah. And this is why I like them, because for the portrayals of Joker is he has those multiple personalities, and every time I see the Joker, he's either too goofy or he's too chaotic. I think the Jared Leto was like what was the middleman for that. And I like seeing Joker. I like seeing Joker not give a damn, but also like stuff like materials and stuff like that. You know, man, own businesses. He was after money. You know, like women. I like seeing that about him, but I also like seeing the fact that he was still that I don't give a damn. I would, you know, kill myself and all that type of stupid stuff.
Yeah, he was just a complete psychotic, and it did. It gave you, you know, he's still a criminal. I guess mob boss, or you know, a criminal boss of some sort in the background, because you know, saw in his clubs and stuff that he owned. He was a lot more fancier with his clothing, more flashier. His car, you know, that big purple car, you know, he stood out. And then him and Harley Quinn, you know, were running the show. And it gave some good background. I like the fact that he walked in there and, you know, he may be crazy, but he knows what he's doing. You know, when he walked in to find out where she was, and he brought that big briefcase of money and said, "Look, I now own you. I paid your debt. You owe me. Now let's talk." So,
and even they could even use that as like a stepping stone to, I guess, connect them to having to a mob origin, because it would make sense.
Well, again, we go back to the reboot with Jack Nicholson. What was he? He was a member of a crime syndicate. And he was trying to overthrow the syndicate, and he was setting them all up to get taken out by the Bat, but ended up backfiring on him and knocked him into the chemical pool, which he became the Joker. So his persona of, I can't remember the character's name at the moment, but the persona of the Joker evolved because of the disfiguration to his face and the bleaching of his skin and hair. So, you know, there's a few offshoots of that storyline out there. You know, again, which one do you want to go with? I mean, everybody knows the Joker's a crazy clown who has really cool gadgets and psychotic, and that's it. But they don't always know the story that brings him to that point. And what about the one in we even forgot the one in Gotham?
The young dude, can't remember his freaking name.
Yeah, and we forgot that guy. I mean, actually, I've never seen any of the Gotham series. Yes, I know. I'll make it up one day.
In Gotham, I don't know if it's officially he's the Joker, but he does have the Joker qualities. And he was this boy, this young man that was, I believe he was like in a circus family. Like his family worked in a circus, and I forgot what his mother did. But his father was like abusive to him or something like that as he was growing up. And he did set up this elaborate scheme that when it was revealed it was him, was like, but
What?
if you watch Gotham, you'd be like, yes, that he could be the Joker for Gotham. He could. He had the laugh down pat. He had the attitude down pat. He was crazy.
Yeah, I was watching some clips and stuff of the show in that particular one, especially when he stapled his face back on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's some disturbing crap. And, you know, he fits the bill and he looks like him. That's the thing. You know, when you see that smile on his face and all, I mean, you're like, yeah, he gives me the willies. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was pretty intense.
So, but there's so many iterations, and it is what you like. You know, the character is always going to evolve. You know, as long as we keep the core character, you know, everybody's got their, I like the humorous version or I like the psychotic version and everything in between.
Me and MademB was watching The Killing Joke, and I watched it the first time. I was like, I don't like this. But then we sat down and watched it again. And then I gotta admit, it was pretty good. And I like the way they took the Joker storyline because they made him a sympathetic character.
Character born out of tragedy.
Yeah. For those who don't know, in the Killing Joke storyline, he was a failed comedian trying to support his wife and who was pregnant, and then they end up accidentally they died in an accident, and he was kind of forced to do this job with the mob as the Red Hood, and that's what led to him getting knocked into the chemicals, and that's how he became the Joker.
Okay, but in that one, he was trying to be a comedian. So where did the falling and that stuff, messed up his head? But how did he the genius and the smartness? Where did all that come from? If he was just that, I mean, I know he got no origin story, but so many different versions of it. But
where did it come from in this particular storyline?
If you think about it, they say most people that are geniuses are crazy, like they are loony.
I mean, but he fell into that stuff, so that kind of messed his head up.
Yeah, that you can say his genius was born from the crazy. And that's why I like another version of not the Batman, the Joker that I do like, and nobody likes him, but I don't care. I like him. I think he's cool. Is the one from the Batman. I'm sorry, I like him.
I can't remember which one.
On this version, Joker is he's weird. He's got red eyes, a really big smile, bigger than usual, and he has longer hair. It's like dreads, kind of.
I think I've seen that one. I've watched so many series, and it gets very confusing as to which one you're trying to get. Because they had the futuristic one too, where you had the Joker was like half robotic or something, and he was all kind of spaced out and stuff.
I remember they had the Batman Beyond when the Joker came back.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. I see him.
I like that one. I do like the Batman version. I thought he was unique. He actually stood out.
More like an acrobat and bounced around a lot. Little nuts. I remember it. I remember that one. I got you.
And to go off the point where we were talking about Batman's relationship with the Joker, I think the Joker does depend on Batman, because if you ever watched the animated 90s series, it was one episode where they thought Batman died. And then he
was all
Joker,
sad about it.
Yeah, he was sad about it. And then if you watch the Dark Knight Returns, Batman has been gone for like 20 years or something like that, for a long time. But in that whole time that he's been missing, the Joker was in Arkham, and he was just like I don't want to say he was comatose, but he was inactive. But then when Batman started up again, what happened? The Joker came back. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember something along those lines.
And I feel sorry for Batman because the Joker puts him through so much. Think about the death of Jason Todd
And he keeps
in the
ringing it
Under
in.
the Red Hood storyline, where he beat him to death. Almost, and then left him in that warehouse to blow up. And then, of course,
the time he blew him up, he killed Robin.
Then,
yeah,
then
to like all the explosives or something like that. So
yeah,
but no matter what happens, the Batman still won't kill him.
He almost killed him in that, and he almost killed him when he shot and paralyzed Barbara Gordon.
I mean, almost.
He came close. He's got that code. I don't kill. Kind of like Superman. I don't kill. I just beat him really good. Near death. But you can get him.
Actually, this. What alternate Jokers do you like the most? If you know of any, because I do. There was the alternate Joker where Lex Luthor became the Joker, but that's because in that alternate reality, Superman was Batman. And then there's the Flashpoint paradox where Bruce Wayne died and his father became Batman and his mother became the Joker.
Crazy stuff.
Which I do want to read up on that some more because that's a really interesting concept.
Yeah, when they start really going out of the box, it's like, what? And you're trying to keep up with the story too. That's one of the things that when they get a good character and they just kind of go crazy with it, and they do all these weird, insane things, and you're like, huh? Where did that come from, or how did that happen?
And we were talking about this like 2 weeks ago where we started to get on the conversation, but we didn't because I was like, well, we gotta wait. The new the new Joker origin story movie that they're going to have come out. Thoughts? Go.
Jared Leto's not even sure where they're going to go with it right now. It's kind of in the. I don't know. He would like to do it.
I don't understand that. Why would you?
I don't think they can. That's why they're stuck right now.
I don't understand why they would establish his character and then turn around and make a standalone movie.
There's no reason to. And in fact, actually, a lot of when we see what's the movie coming out? It's either Shazam or
it's what, Cyborg or the Flash.
Well, they're gonna. No, it's one of the in the process movies. They're going to release the character without doing a backstory. It's just going to come in and you're going to have the character and go. You might have a little bit of flashback here and there, but for the most part, they're literally walking in with the character and going from there. And I know I didn't really mention it last time because it didn't really kick into my brain until just now. But yeah, they were talking about, we're just not going to do an origin story. We're just going to go right into it. Captain Marvel. But
they don't need to. They don't need to make no 3 different Joker movies. No.
They're getting to a point, you know, why? I mean, most of these characters, we know where they came from. You know, classic character, Joker, we know. Superman, Batman, we know. Wonder Woman was a good story because she hasn't been on the big screen before. Boom, great. We got the background of her. We kept on trucking with the movie, and life is going on. But, you know, there's really no reason to throw back into some of these backstories. You know, let's get a story. We know the character is a superhero.
Yeah. And then 3 movies. No.
Yeah, let's you know, because I mean, we're going to see Justice League in December, and then we're going to have the Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman solo movies. You know, and whether they're precursors or post to JLA movie, you know, I'm not really sure, but you know, Aquaman might be interesting, but you know, he's the king of Atlantis anyway. We know it happens. The Flash is by an accident. Let's skip all the crap and just keep on trucking because we're going to see the origins of Cyborg are part of it. I mean, we've already really kind of seen it briefly in this Batman Superman movie. So let's just take the characters in stride and go, and let's give more time to the story and character development than it is how did they become the Cyborg or the Flash or Aquaman.
Oh, is he the only one that would be good without an origin story?
There's a lot of characters that can kind of go without too much of an origin story. Me personally, I don't mind them having an origin story for the Joker, because again, to have multiple ones, and if the comic books can allow him to have multiple storylines, a movie can too.
But do we really need to go back and see an origin story? I mean,
I don't mind it, but my thing is it shouldn't be a standalone.
No, it might be hinted and just keep on trucking. You know, it's just let's focus on adding more content to the story that we're being told versus just 30 minutes of origin story and 15 minutes of movie. If you want to do a real quick, okay, here's what happened, tragic accident, have a nice day, go. Just like they did Suicide Squad. They kind of bounced out those moments with Harley Quinn and how she became Harley Quinn. Okay, that's great and dandy. Keep on trucking. Let's not waste a whole lot of time on a side story. Let's focus on the story of the moment and keep on trucking.
Or if they do it like the Hush storyline with Batman. Tell the story from the past, but while you're doing it, you can be including all of these characters that you're going to be putting into the DCEU later on down the line, because the whole Hush storyline did kind of go back and kind of touch on how Batman was kind of interacting with some of these villains. Like, I wouldn't mind how Joker becoming the bad guy, but you see the Riddler pop up, how he interacted with the Riddler, that he interacted with Penguin, that he interacted with I don't know, Poison Ivy, if they decide to put her in there. I wouldn't mind that, because then you'll be seeing they're sprinkling like little hints of what's going to possibly be in the DCEU. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they could, easily pull that off. And, that's just like, the early 80 reboot when we had Michael Keaton and all them. We smashed in with the Joker, and then we came back with the Penguin, and then we came back, our Penguin and Mr. Freeze. And all these, hinklings of these other characters in the series. But, you could have a Joker movie and kind of like the criminal background, the underground criminal world of Batman. What happens, when they get their butt handed to them, was it How It Should Have Ended? Is an animated series on YouTube, and they have like the bad guys have their own little bar or coffee shop or whatever it is. And they're all talking smack about, I kicked Batman's butt this week or whatever. And you got a cross mix of characters from Star Wars. Any bad guy from any series is in there.
Mm-hmm.
But you could do the underground world of Batman's criminals, and you could see all these specific criminals that we know of, and, them telling stories or seeing a small hinkling of their interaction with the Batman on some kind of crime or something, and they all come back. That would be fun.
Yeah, like in The Dark Knight, the Dark Knight tells how Batman's journey is as he's fighting criminals.
Yeah, as he develops and learns and goes around the world. And
it'd be interesting if they show a movie that reflects that, but from the criminal's perspective.
Yes.
Like that.
See the rise of the criminal underground, the extreme. We saw Batman. And remember, at the end, he handed them the card where he goes, "Yeah, but you use a gun, they use a gun. You use an automatic rifle, they come back with an automatic rifle. They're always stepping up." And here's the calling card of the newest crazy guy, and he hands him the Joker card.
Which I will admit, that is one of the smoothest Easter eggs to a sequel I've ever seen.
And you're like, what? Joker's next? All right. But yes, do it from the criminal background. What happened behind the scenes while Batman's learning to do his thing and developing and growing? Let's see the development of those characters, these super criminals in Gotham. Let's see that happen. Make that a movie.
What do you think about it?
Everybody likes bad guys, right?
Yeah,
I do.
That'll be all right. So it wouldn't be an origin, just what goes on with him.
It'll be like an origin, but not a origin.
Yeah, I mean, you can see like the development of the underground of the characters that we know.
Kind of not maybe an origin for the character, but maybe his rise to power, like that. Because like what happened, kind of like the Dark Knight. That was based. You saw Joker's rise to power.
Okay, yeah. So they'll start after he gets turned and how he handled all that. Because I know he just didn't go crazy and start killing folks that same day.
No. Or maybe like say like the movie, the first 5 minutes of the movie is, you know, how they shift between the credits with him being a Red Hood, and then by the end of the credits, he done fell into the vat and now he's the Joker.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have a movie like that out?
I mean, that happened in the first Batman movie, but he wasn't the Red Hood.
No, he was just a underground goon. He was there trying to set up his boss so he could take over, basically, and it backfired on him.
Yeah, because in The Killing Joke, I thought the movie was going to be about, like, him. But I understood what you were saying when you explained it to me. But because he was already in prison. So it was, like, between, like, him and Batman. And then...
Because it's essentially about him. It is about him, but it's also about their relationship.
Yeah, it's all tied together.
If you could pick anyone to play the Joker if they decided to redo the character, which I'm going to ask y'all first, Leonardo DiCaprio as the Joker, do y'all think he's going to fit?
No.
I think he could probably pull like a crazy like Joker similar to Heath Ledger. I think he'd be somewhere between Heath Ledger and Jared Leto.
He would have to be because his characters are typically always the nice goody-goody. He doesn't have a very extreme listing of characters he's ever played. So he would have to go over the top, and those would be the over-the-top versions that we know. But if it was my first choice, no, he would not be on the top of my list.
That looks awesome.
That's what he would look like.
I ain't gonna lie, some of these pictures I've seen with him look cool.
I mean, I guess.
But then people will get mad about who they cast as a Joker, who they always cast him, but then the person, for the most part, I haven't seen too many people, like, again, when they came up with Heath Ledger, everybody got mad. What happened? He blew him out the water.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's got their things, and they just don't. Yeah, just don't see that world hitting and going, yeah, that would be great, awesome. Who would think Jared Leto? Look, here's some of the names of people in the same context that they've thought about throwing these. James Franco as a Joker. Jake Gyllenhaal. William Dafoe, definitely not, because I always think of him as the Green Goblin.
Jake Gyllenhaal, possibly, because I watched him in that movie Nightcrawler. Dude was awesome. Straight up.
How about Hugh Laurie?
Who is that?
That is the dude from House.
House.
The character House?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of them.
I don't think so either. Christian Bale. He's too late. He's already cast as a character. He can't ever play. Can't play him.
I would say because he was an American Psycho.
True. Brad Pitt.
No.
Johnny Depp.
I would say Johnny Depp, except he's played too many characters like that. So I'm just it'll be just watching him play Jack Sparrow again.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years, Johnny Depp has pulled off some of the best characters. I mean, it's just transition. You don't know. I mean, have you seen him dressed up like the Joker? You don't know yet.
No, it's not that he can't play the role. It's that we've seen him play it basically already.
Yeah, he's burned out. He's done. Nicolas Cage.
No.
No, hell no.
You just don't like Nicolas Cage.
He can't act. I'm sorry.
John Hamm.
Who is that?
The guy who plays Michael from Prometheus. The android.
Black Joker.
Oh, you talking about Michael Fassbender?
Oh no, sorry, the other guy. He was in the same series. He looks kind of like him.
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
Okay.
here's one. Tom Hiddleston, Loki.
I will give it to him because he can, if he can play a good Loki, he can play a crazier Joker.
He would probably fit very well on that.
I got a guy, Ewan Rion, and if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, he played Ramsay Bolton.
Oh, Ramsey, eh?
One of the most unlikable characters in the entire show.
Yep, he was the one that got ate by his own dogs.
Yes, I would definitely go for him.
He would fit in the psychotic Joker version with a classic twist. I would definitely go with that one. He was a butthole on that movie, and that guy played the character, and you loved to hate him. Yes, I think he would actually stand out as all the names we talked. He would be my number one choice right now.
Oh, you said who was?
Definitely.
You said
Ramsay
who?
Bolton.
Yeah.
Ramsay Bolton. I can't think of his next actor name.
Yeah, that dude deserves a thumbs up for that. What do y'all think about the Joker's relationship with his girlfriend Harley Quinn?
That's pretty much unexpected. You got to have Harley. It's just part of him.
And
she didn't come till later on, though.
And this is why I like the Suicide Squad version of him because, yeah, that's the guy from Gotham. This is why I like the Suicide version of him because he actually did like her. It was actually.
Well, he wanted to hate her and just leave her and walk away, and he couldn't do it. And he saw it in the movie. He tried to. He pushed her. He made her. She was already crazy. He drove her. He was going to kill her and walk away, and he just found that he couldn't do it. So, here's another guy, Crispin Glover. He played in what is that guy played in? He's played in a lot of stuff.
Crispin Glover.
He plays like a bad guy. Do you remember the reboot of Charlie's Angels?
Yeah.
The bad guy with the black hair and the cane.
Oh, that guy, the creepy thin man.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kind of see it now that I'm looking at it. Right there.
Yeah, he
was in Back to the Future. He was the younger version of the dad.
Yes.
Okay. I can kind of see it because he was off the chain in that Charlie's Angels. I would say, and I'm being honest, back in the day, I would have put Jim Carrey on there.
They talked about him in a couple of these little reviews that I've looked through. Have you seen? I know you've seen Guillermo del Toro movies. The guy who plays like Abe Sapien, and his name is Doug Jones.
Yeah.
They talked about him being thrown in there as a Joker. Now, granted, you've actually never really seen Doug Jones without makeup except one movie, which was the one with the angels in it.
Under Jim Carrey's name, it says, "I would rather kill myself."
Yeah, he was great as the Riddler. I enjoyed him as the Riddler. That was no problem with that.
I would have liked him to be a bit more serious, just a little bit.
I like the cartoon version. I think it is the Batman or the one just before that series. With Mark Hamill, where Edward Nygma was the well-dressed version of him and super, super, super smart. He wore the bowler hat and the green jacket with the questions on it and had the cane.
Yeah.
That version of the Riddler would be great in a movie if they could get just the right person to hit that button. Get the Edward Nygma from the storyline.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Because a lot of those characters never got their time.
I think they were catering to too much of the older version of the Riddler, the one with Cesar Romero on them.
Yeah,
because that's how he
the classic one.
Yeah. But it's almost that time, y'all. It was one other thing I did want to address since we pretty much talked about everything else. Who is the Joker's best partnering? Because he partnered with other villains. He's partnered with Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, and even Lex Luthor. I guess as well as Harley Quinn. Who do you think he made a really good, I guess, teammate to?
I think he and the Scarecrow would be a good combo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're both crazy. They're both nut jobs. One's extreme, and I think they fit very well together. At least in my my mentality. I think Scarecrow would be a good partner.
I kind of like the whole bit. I would like to see kind of like him and the Riddler, because I want to see those intellectuals because they're both genius level, but in like two different ways.
Yeah.
So I would like to see that.
That would be a good combo. I could see that. I could work with that. I don't see the Penguin so much. Now, in the animated series, the Joker and Penguin are almost always together.
Yeah, they
always together. And he calls him Penguiny or Pingy is what he was calling him. And in the animated series, it didn't work. It worked better. But I think if you were doing a live action series, I would like to see one of those two matches with the more classic, the extreme Joker and the classic Riddler, Edward Nygma Riddler. Would be great, or the classic Scarecrow.
Yeah,
I would like to see that. I think that would be interesting.
Or even because like even in the video games, the Joker is more Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
the dude's pretty brutal, especially in the Arkham games.
Well, the Arkham version of the Joker was crazy. I mean, he got even more crazier.
Yeah.
Because he was confined and couldn't do anything, and they were always torturing him. And what's the doctor who works in there?
Hugo Strange.
Yes, Hugo Strange. I like to see him involved in the movie too. They've mentioned him briefly in some of the other ones, but I'd like to see a movie with Arkham. Well, you know what? They could do a whole Arkham movie. And all these criminals.
Fact, you know how they're having trouble with the Batman movie that they're supposed to be coming out with?
Yeah.
Combine that with the Joker movie, make an Arkham movie. They did it with Batman Arkham Assault, which is supposed to take place before the Arkham games, which I ended up watching it. I'm like, it was pretty good. But I'm like, yeah, that would be a good Batman Arkham movie. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and you can even do some of the stories, like Batman's, at the time going through Arkham, whatever, working his way through, trying to clean everything back up after the issue. And, you hit a, Poison Ivy story, or you get a Mr. Freeze story, or, Joker story, working as he works his way through and faces different characters in there. You get a story with them, their relationship or something like that in the storyline. That would be cool too.
We were looking at these pictures of the people these Photoshop pictures of people. Yeah, they are just ridiculous, man. But
Photoshopping and painting them all white, green, and red lipped.
Yeah. Look at that right there. That man look crazy. But all right then, guys, we have run out of time, and plus we're about to go see the movie It. So in the comment section below, guys, let us know, what do you think about the Joker? We had a great discussion, learned some new things, had exchanged a lot of great ideas. Let us know what you think about it. And if there's some points that we did leave off, throw them down there and let us know. Also, be sure to hit the like, share, subscribe, and the notification button to not only get the best of what this channel has to offer, but to also help support it and get the word out there.
Yep.
Any final words, y'all guys, about the Joker?
Well, you're going to see the creepiest Joker of them all here tonight.
Yeah.
He's a good choice for replacing Tim Curry, too. He played in a series on Netflix, and he was pretty crazy there, too. So.
Oh, yeah. Him Like Grove. I know what you're talking about.
That's how I knew him. So that movie should be good. I've kind of try to avoid any feedback right now on it, because technically, I guess it officially doesn't come out till tomorrow, unless you're going to a midnight preview, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right then, guys, having said that, we will catch you guys later, and we greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in to the channel. So without further ado, the Breaker the Baits crew is out. Peace.
Bye.
And we are gone.